Hello and welcome back to the Sports Sermon. And today we have the whole crew with us. I'm Dylan Staggy.
Jason Gandhi here.
Michael Bailey.
And Dan Majors.
And today we will be discussing Game 1 of the NBA Finals that happened last night. So first, we're going to start off going over some stats and the score and everything. So Jason, what do you got on that?
So really for the big guys, as you guys know, the Warriors completely destroyed the Cavs last night with a 22-point win. So for the big guys in the game, Steph finished with 28 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists. Klay Thompson had an off shooting night, 6 points, 4 assists. Draymond Green went 9 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists on 3 of 12 shooting. And then the big guy of the night, Kevin Durant, 38 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. On to the Cavs side, LeBron had a good stat line, 28 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, but also 8 turnovers and shot 9 for 20 from the field. Kyrie Irving had a pretty good game at 24 points and 2 assists, shooting just under 50%. So that's kind of the main stats from the night. But really, guys, what do you think about it? I mean, it was obvious the Warriors outplayed them, but from the stats, what do you think?
I think one stat that really sticks out from the game is definitely the turnovers. 4 turnovers for the Warriors to 20 for the Cavs. The Warriors, based on this, were able to get up 20 more shots and also shot 7.5% better from the field, 42.5 and then 35% for the Cavs. So really these turnovers just allowed the Warriors to get out in transition, get some easy buckets, and get 20 more shots up than the Cavs. And really the turnovers were the big difference between the two teams in the game, I thought.
I think definitely if you go deeper than just the box score, Kevin Durant's impact, obviously, yes, 38 and 8 is going to have a big impact, but the fact that he was able to get 6 first-half dunks is unreal. He had more first-half dunks than the team had turnovers for the whole game. So I don't know if it was more of – I think it was a combination of the Warriors being dominant like they're going to, but the Cavs' defense was just awful. If you watch it, every time there would be a fast break between Kevin Durant or Steph would be trailing like on the left or right side. He'd spot up for the 3, and the defense would shift over to him, which would leave Kevin Durant wide open for a dunk. So really, as we'll get into later, I don't know if the Cavs are going to be able to recover from this, but purely just like from the stats, all 4 guys made their impact, including Klay Thompson. All 4 had a crazy impact last night, and one guy that is not really talked about, JaVale McGee, had 5 rebounds in 6 minutes compared to Tristan Thompson, who had 4 rebounds in 22 minutes. So with all of that, the Warriors were definitely dominant, and it was really never a competition.
Yeah, LeBron, I feel like his 8 turnovers really killed them, but 7 in the first half doesn't really make any sense because they were still in it in the first half, and then it all blew away in the second, and he only had 1 in the second, which doesn't really make any sense. But
Yeah, it was just that big second quarter where the Warriors kept getting out in transition and off the Cavs turnovers, especially LeBron, who just could not find the open guy. I mean, he was driving and he tried to kick, but the Warriors were right there to steal the ball. And actually, if you look at the second quarter, the Warriors only outscored the Cavs by 3. So the Cavs, I think, a little bit lucky the Warriors didn't finish all their transition attempts, or they could have lost by 30 or 40.
Yeah, I mean, the trademark for the Warriors is that third quarter kind of blowout type stage. I mean, they do it all year. They've done it the last 3 years. It's close first quarter, and then that third quarter they blow it open. So that's like what I'm saying. I don't think the Warriors played that much better. I mean, they missed 20-something layups last night, or just easy in the paint shots. And so I didn't think the Warriors played that good, but I thought it was just the Cavs' defense especially that really let them down.
Yeah, I think the Warriors are just a better team. And you clearly saw last night, they just put a beating on the Cavs. And I think this is going to continue throughout the rest of the series. And, Gandhi?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see. We've talked. Me and Dylan had our podcast about the finals preview, and I didn't see anything. I still don't see anything that the Cavs are going to be able to take more than a game. I said 5 or 6 on there. I'm now more confident on 4 or 5 than I am them getting to 6. I think the Cavs are just, like, no disrespect to LeBron, Kyrie, any of them. They just don't have enough pieces there. When Kyle Korver doesn't score, Tristan Thompson gets 4 rebounds in 22 minutes, JR hits the first 3 of the game, and then nothing the rest of the game. If you're not going to have production from those guys, you can't expect to beat 4 All-Stars.
All right, so let's go back more into this game from last night. Let's talk about the game MVP. So Dan, who'd you have as your game MVP from Game 1 last night?
I had Kevin Durant with 38 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. He has only been in one finals and probably is the least experienced out of everyone that was there last night. But he didn't show any jitters at all, and he was I think it was the second person ever to score 38 points or more in a finals game without any turnovers. So pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty consensus. KD is the MVP today. I'm pretty sure everyone had them as their MVP.
Yeah, not even a question. I mean, LeBron had a good game, but he had all those turnovers. Steph had a kind of a rough first half before coming on in the third quarter. KD, obviously, the game MVP. But let's talk about the opposite side, underperformer. Jason, who'd you have as your underperformer from last night?
All right, so when I was told to do underperformer, I went one for the Warriors and one for the Cavs. I didn't know how we were doing it. So for the Warriors, I just thought Draymond offensively. If we're going to talk about there was no one that really underperformed. I thought Klay had a phenomenal defensive game, and Draymond he played great defensively as well, locking up all 5 positions just like Klay. They all played well. I just thought if I had to pick a Warriors guy, I'd do Draymond offensively. He didn't seem as versatile as he usually does. But my real underperformer was LeBron. I thought that even though the stat line, if you go deeper and look into it, he averages 13 drives per game. He drove 21 times, had 5 of his 8 turnovers when he drove, shot 2 for 8 on drives, and only had 1 assist there. So he tried to force it so many times, trying to get into the lane. He shot 25% in the lane last night when he usually shoots 62 in the regular season. I thought LeBron tried to do too much last night, having to get into the lane. Yes, he needs to do a lot, but if you're going to drive close to double the amount that you average and not do anything with it and have over half your turnovers in the lane, something's got to change. And so I thought LeBron was my underperformer.
I mean, I don't think that's all LeBron's fault, though. I mean, he couldn't do anything because the Cavs role players just did not step up. Outside of LeBron and Kyrie, the Cavs only shot 25%, 11 for 44 from the field. So I don't know. I think LeBron had to do that to try and get some opportunities and to score. My underperformer had to be Tristan Thompson, who finished the game with 0 points and 4 rebounds in 22 minutes. Also allowed 56 points in the paint from Golden State. So Tristan Thompson really not doing much on the inside, especially on defense, to try to stop the Warriors from getting inside.
Yeah, if he could get going, then I think the Cavs could get going too. I feel like they could feed off Tristan just as well. But
There's a sentence I never thought I'd heard: the Cavs feed off of Tristan Thompson.
he only had 0 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and last year in the finals, I think it was 3 out of the 4 games that they won, he had a double-double. And if he can get going, then the Cavs could do something big, I think.
What's considered doing something big? Do you think they can win the series?
No, I don't. Not anymore. I had the Cavs before this, but that last night kind of...
You cannot change your prediction
Are you
based off
kidding me?
one game.
Look, they totally blew them out. I mean...
I know that's what happened every
that's
single
what happened
game last year.
too. I understand that, but...
I don't think you can ever count anybody out. I mean, last year, Warriors blew through 1 lead, so I think,
Yeah, the Warriors.
no matter what the circumstances are, I don't think anybody is out of anything.
I agree. I think that my thing is it matters, but I wouldn't overreact to it. I think you're smart for changing your opinion because the Cavs didn't have a shot to begin, but now you're starting to realize it.
No, yeah.
But I mean, last year, like you guys mentioned, the Warriors were plus 48 going into Game 3. They'd won by 48 points in their 2 games combined, and then blew it. So I think that's a big thing, is not to overreact, but to realize that the Cavs looked outmatched and the Warriors didn't play that well.
Yeah, the Warriors definitely did not play well. Neither team, I don't think, really played well. A lot of turnovers for the Cavs, a lot of missed opportunities. But I think the role players for both teams have really got to get it going. Like I mentioned earlier, the role players for the Cavs, outside of LeBron and Kyrie, they shot 11 for 44. That's 25%. And if you include Love in that with LeBron and Kyrie, everyone else shot 7 for 31. And the Warriors, outside of KD and Steph, shot 20 for 58. That's 35%. So I think both teams' role players need to step up. Neither of those numbers are really going to cut it for the rest of the series.
Who are you talking about when you say role players for the Warriors? You talking like second unit like Livingston and Barnes? Do you mean like Clay and Dre?
All of them. I mean, Clay and Dre shot a combined 6 for 28 in the game.
They
So
both played phenomenally on defense.
I'm not disagreeing,
Yeah.
but I mean, LeBron is going to do better if the Cavs role players step up. I mean, Clay and Dre's defense isn't going to be enough if they can't shoot better than 6 for 28 on offense.
I think I don't know. Are you sticking by your prediction of the Cavs winning?
Yes, so far I still am. I mean, if they take game 2, it's 1-1 going into Cleveland. They've stolen home court advantage just from one more game.
Okay, this is my question to you. Klay Thompson shoots 3 for 16. Draymond Green shoots 3 for 12. They beat him by 22. Klay Thompson's not going to shoot 3 for 16, and Draymond's not going to shoot 3 for 12 again. Even if Klay
Neither of them have done
even
good
if
this
Klay
playoffs.
does
What
not
makes you
even-
think they'll turn it around?
Even if Klay does not get hot the rest of the series, his defense is good enough alone. He doesn't need to get hot. He is proving he is a top 3 defender by last night alone. In the 12 shots that the Cavs took when Thompson was the primary defender, he contested 10 out of 12. They made 1. To me, it does not even matter if he starts scoring, which he obviously is going to get his shots. I think it's just a matter of time when he's going to get his shots. But like you said, how he hasn't all playoffs. Even if he doesn't, I don't know if it's going to matter because the Warriors are so good that his defense will make up for it because he consistently defended all 5 positions because of the way the Cavs play, where they run pick and roll sets, which gets mismatches. The first play of the game, you saw Klay Thompson was on Kevin Love. He had to shoot a fadeaway and he airballed it. Then right before he came out, he locked up. I think it might have been LeBron. It was LeBron or one of their backup 3s. So I mean, throughout the entire night of his 36 minutes, he locked up on defense, where his offense was kind of irrelevant. So yes, he had a bad game, but all I'm asking is if he starts getting going, and they beat him by 22 without him getting going, what are you gonna do then?
I mean, if Klay Thompson and Draymond Green are both going, no one's going to stop the Warriors. But
I think you're telling me it's only going to be 2 players the rest of the series. They beat him by 22 with 2 players playing well on offense.
I know, but if the Cavs obviously did terrible, especially on the offensive side. But if their role players step up, Kevin Love doesn't shoot 4 for 13. Tristan Thompson does better than 0 for 3. J.R. Smith does better than 1 for 4. Kyle Korver missed 3 wide open threes.
Shooting woes happen for both teams, as we just point out. I'm talking about defense. You can't fix giving Kevin Durant 6 wide open layups and playing that bad on defense, an issue that has been that way since the beginning of the season. We have heard from day 1 of the season the Cavs' biggest issue is defense. And now in the biggest stage, everyone's like, oh, the Cavs have that switch, or the Cavs have that switch. They did not turn on the switch and got blown out by 22 with 2 of the 4 players playing well on offense.
You know, you've probably heard this a million times, but defense wins championships. And, you know, when it comes down to
It also loses
you need
championships.
defense. You need
Yes.
defense.
I just think the Cavs can still step it up. Obviously, they're not the best team defensively, but I think they are still able to turn on that extra switch. The role players obviously always play better at home. The Cavs take game 2, and they have the home court advantage back.
You had 2 weeks to prepare for tonight, or last night. You had 2 weeks to go. How are we going to stop the Warriors? And then this was their game plan. Was all right. This is what we're going to do. They lost by 22. You're going to fix it in 2 days now. You've seen that. It's not like, oh, we've never seen him before. You've seen him 2 straight years, and you saw him 2 times in the regular season with Kevin Durant. It's not that you're going to be able to just switch that. You can't just go, hey, we're going to start playing defense now, even though we've had 2 weeks to tell you to start playing defense. Now you're going to do it. Okay. You can't really just turn that switch on. If you're not going to turn it on in the finals, when are you going to do it? I mean, that was game 1 of the finals, a game that was crucial for them to win. I know multiple people said they had to win last night if they were going to win a game in the series, because that's how they were going to steal. If they were going to win the series, they had to win last night, and they came out and got destroyed. I don't think anybody, even the first half, thought, oh, the Cavs are going to stay in this for a while. I mean, the Warriors just looked that much better the entire game from start to finish.
I think in the first half, I think if the Cavs came out a lot better in the second half, like they have played all postseason, I think that the Cavs still could have turned it on and won. I mean, Steph wasn't playing well in the first half either. If he didn't have that great third quarter, I mean, the Warriors wouldn't have blown him out by 22.
I don't think it would have been 22, but I'm saying you watched it, and if you're going to give a guy 6 wide open dunks in the first half, and you're just like, I mean, I don't know. From watching the game this morning, I rewatched it this morning, from first quarter to second quarter to third quarter to fourth quarter, every quarter it was the Warriors are in control.
Yeah, I was watching the game and I was just thinking, when will LeBron take over? When will LeBron take over?
Exactly.
And he didn't do it.
And
I mean, he tried
that's
it.
my question is when. So if he didn't do it last night, now he tries to do game 2. Oh, I can't do game 2. Oh, now it might be a defensive issue. Okay, now you flip on your defense. Now you do this, this, and this, and now the Cavs are getting dug into this hole.
I mean, LeBron tried to take over, but he just didn't get any help. He was driving the lane every time, getting past his man, but the Warriors clogged it, and he tried to kick it out, and no one was making their shots. There's not much else LeBron could really do.
The big thing the Warriors did is they didn't need to help on defense. Kevin Durant is one of the best perimeter defenders, where the other teams you've seen play, like Jake, I mean, that's a fact. I mean, there's no debate that Durant is one of the best perimeter defenders.
Yes, his defense goes overlooked. Definitely.
If you watch the games that the Cavs played earlier, every time LeBron would drive, you'd have to get help from a big guy. If you watched last night, there were rare times that someone would help, which meant the other shooters are now closed out, which meant LeBron had to force something, which led to turnovers, missed shots, all that. It's not that the Cavs played bad. It's that the Warriors' defense is so good, and that's not going to change. That's been a thing since day one when Kevin Durant came.
Yeah, the Warriors, obviously a great defensive team, and if they put on a defensive performance like last night, there's no way they lose the series. I just don't think they can keep that up for 7 games. But let's go on to Game 2. Let's look to Sunday night at 8 o'clock. The Cavs will again play at the Warriors to see who wins Game 2, see if they can steal a game at Golden State. Predictions for that game. Let's go to Dan.
I got the Warriors 112-96. The Cavs, I think they will keep their turnovers low, and Thompson will finish with a much better game than Game 1. But that's not going to be enough. Their defense is going to be way too much, and Warriors are going to get it done.
Michael?
I think the Cavs are going to make some minor adjustments and stuff, but I really think the Warriors are still going to win by at least 10 points.
Yeah, I said 10 plus. If I had to make a prediction, I'd say 16, which is what you said. But I had written down Warriors by 16. I don't think it'll feel like a blowout though. I think the Cavs will do enough where like they'll get down by 20, down by 10, down by 20. Like it'll go back and forth. But I don't think it'll be as boring as last night's second half was, if that makes sense.
I'm going to take the Cavs. I think they need this to win the series, and I think they'll get it done. LeBron will come out as mad as ever that they lost last night. Kyrie will play much better. He missed some
How much
open
better
looks at the
will he play?
rims. Kyrie didn't play that great.
24 points on 10 and 22 shooting is pretty dang good.
Yeah.
For a
He
final
missed.
performance, when you watch Kyrie did awful in the finals, the first 3 games in the finals last year, he played awful. If I'm LeBron, I'm like, thank you, Kyrie, for finally showing up in the first game of the finals. First game he got hurt, 2015. Last year he had like 10 points. Like he played awful last year. 24 points, 2 assists. I mean, he should have got assists, sure, but like you said, the Cavs weren't shooting. I don't think any of the blame's on Kyrie. I think it's on LeBron and obviously the role players.
Yeah,
I don't think-
Kyrie drove. He was unstoppable.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think.
Steph can't guard him on the perimeter. That's a fact. Steph's defense isn't good enough to guard Kyrie. That's why when you saw Clay on him, it started to shut him down because he couldn't get around him as much. If Kyrie gets around anybody, he's going to finish. 9 times out of 10, he's going to finish.
I don't think the blame's on Kyrie, but I think he missed some open looks that he could have made. I think he could have played better. He could have distributed it a little better. And I think the role players for the Cavs also step up. Kyle Korver's not going to miss 3 wide open threes again. I think they show up, win 108-97. I don't think any game's going to be that close, especially until Game 7, like we saw last year. Almost every single game was a blowout besides Game 7.
All right, just remember, Monday we'll be having another podcast talking about Game 3, so I have a feeling there'll be lots of tension here if the Cavs, or whichever way it goes, if the Warriors win or the Cavs win. Some people might be flipping on their predictions. Some people might stay true. So make sure you tune in Monday for the Game 3 finals recap. But besides that, looking forward into what's coming up. Tomorrow we've got the Knicks. What's going on with them? Phil Jackson ruining some things up there. Do they keep Kristaps? Do they keep Carmelo? What do they do? That's coming up tomorrow. And then on Sunday, you've got what's coming up for the Buffalo Bills. Is Tyrod the guy? Is he not? What are the Bills going to do? You'll hear it Sunday. And then, like I said, Monday, Game 3 finals preview. So thank you to listening today. I'm Jason Gandhi.
I'm Dylan Staggy.
I'm Dan Majors.
And I'm Michael Bailey.
And we will see you tomorrow with what's next for the New York Knicks. Thank you for listening. Warriors about to win in 4.